Hey there, this is Sebastian from Lunar Sound Sculptures, and this is the second video of my series Handpan Scales Explained. And today I have one of the most favorite handpan scales ever, I think, or one of the most favorite modes for handpan scales, which is the D minor. So this is the Lunar Sound Sculptures version of the D minor, which is called the Artemis. Before you get started, I want to tell you about the topics of this video. So first I will start with a little bit of an impression of the scale. I will play a little bit just for you to get an overall sound expression of this mode. After this I want to cover some of the mythology or the associations that I have chosen for the name of the scale, the Artemis, and some associations that are related with this scale. After this, I will dive a little bit into music theory and explain the mode and the second mode that you are able to play on this instrument. And I will put the timestamps down in the video if I can manage to do this. So if you're not interested into the mythology and you want to jump directly into music theory, I hope you can do this. After music theory, I would like to show you another short impression just about some chords, some combinations, and yeah, finally give a little conclusion about the scale. And yeah, so I hope this is of help for people who are trying to understand handpan scales or trying to figure out which handpan scale is for them. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so I will start with a little impression sound wise. So, for the name I have chosen for this scale, the Artemis, it derives from the Greek goddess Artemis, which is the predecessor of the Roman version Diana. And the Artemis is mostly associated with the wild, with the hunt, with the nature, with animals. She is a goddess that is kind of ambivalent. So she has a creative and a destructive part, and she's a great huntress. Her symbols are a silver arrow and a silver bow, which again is connected to the moon very strongly in symbology and mythology. And for me personally, this scale is so much associated for me with a kind of a Celtic feeling. For example, what I played, this is if you know Lorena McKennitt, you will know this melody. Or again, Soft Wind Shook the Barley. It's also a very beautiful interpretation of Lorena McKennitt. So the melodies created on these instruments are very much related for me personally with the Celtic and with the European, ancient European cultures. So there has not been the Celtic culture, but many different cultures that are subsummarized by the word Celtic. But the Germans, the Etrusc, a lot of cultures. So basically, I choose the name Artemis because she's the representative of the woods, and Europe has been just woods before people started to cut the trees down to build cities and everything, and to cultivate culture. So the ancient cultures here, they have all lived in the woods. So this is for me very strong related to natural environment, and has a natural feeling to me. The mode is also aeolian minor, which is also called natural minor, by the way. So yeah, maybe this is the right point to dive into music theory. As I said, what do we have here? Well, we have aeolian minor, which is a true D minor scale. So if we start ding-wise, let's go through the notes. We have a D3 here. We have a G3 as first note in the chorus. A3. B flat 3. C4. D4, which is the octave. E4. F4. And G4, which is the octave of the starting point here. As all other lunar handpan scales, this is a full range scale, so there are no intervals missing. So this is a full range D minor scale, also called aeolian minor. If we play this instrument from the ding, from the center, for the D minor, the aeolian minor mode, we have the central note, which is the tonic. On the G, we start with the fourth step, so this is the quart or the fourth, followed by the perfect fifth, which occurs again in the fifth of the central note. So this is the A4, which occurs here. Then we have the B flat 3, which is, if we count from the ding, is the minor sixth. So again from the start, central note is tonic, fourth step, quart, perfect fifth, minor sixth, minor seventh, octave or eighth. Then we have the major second, the E. We have a minor third, and we have the fourth. So, as always, as I told in the other videos, you can play the handpan from mostly two different modes. The first mode is the ding-centric mode, which is aeolian minor for this example. And you can switch to a chorus-centric playing, and giving the tonic or the tonal center of your playing by the first tone field. If you do this on the aeolian minor scale, you start with the first, with the tonic, coming to a major second, to a minor third, to the fourth, to the perfect fifth, which is the ding, to the major sixth, to the minor seventh, and to the octave again. Now this mode is not aeolian minor anymore. If you play the instrument this, you have a Dorian mode. And I have already made a video about my Dorian scale, which is the era. I put a link into the description here, or maybe I managed to put it into the video, so you can switch to the other video. The era is the sister instrument, or the sister mode. The Dorian is the sister mode of this aeolian mode, because it's exactly the opposite way. It's mirrored. The era has the Dorian mode played from the ding and the aeolian minor mode played in the chorus. Now this instrument, the Artemis, has it the opposite way. It has the aeolian minor played from the ding note, and it has the Dorian played on the chorus. So those two instruments are very related to each other, and yeah, that's the explanation why. So for the Dorian mode, you will notice one note that is very strong in this mode, or has a very strong temperament, and that is the major sixth in combination with the minor third. So this is the note that is popping in the Dorian mode. Okay, so after we covered this, I think now I would like to just play a little bit again in the chorus, give other impressions about possible combinations, about some of the chords, it will not be a continuous fluid playing. I will just play some snippets here and there to trying to cover some of the versatility of this D minor scale. for those of you who are like in my generation and are familiar with computer games, some fantasy computer games, maybe some of you are familiar with the classic The Elder Scrolls or Morrowind or Oblivion. You will notice the title theme song of this game is which is again the typical Celtic sound of melody. This one is the full range. There exist a lot of handpan scales which are not the full range mode, so they miss one note or another. And for example, there's a handpan scale which is called Celtic, which is often tuned like this. You start with the G, and then you miss out this note. You miss out the major sixth or the major seventh, depending on where you put the central note. So you basically cut out the possibility to play the instrument like a Dorian scale, which is one of the reasons why I don't like to tune this pentatonic or hexatonic scales on handpans anymore, because they lose a lot of their ability for expression, for different expressions, for different modes. So if you cut out this one, you end up with the so-called Celtic scale. And often, of course, if you leave out one note, you have room for an additional note, which is often followed by an octave of one of the starting notes. So, for example, with the Celtic, you would start with the G, A, B flat, C, D, you leave out the F, the E, come to the F, G, and then you would add an additional A, but the A4. Now if I play while in this mode, you will notice the different element of spice, the different character or atmosphere that comes in as soon as I play the E, which is somehow a different element to the whole soundscape. I will try to show this a while, just playing the Celtic mode, or the Celtic scale, sorry. And now So, I think that was enough for a short impression of the scale. I hope I could explain a little bit the music theory behind it. And now to finally come to a conclusion, for whom is this scale? The D minor scale is one of the most versatile or most also most common handpan scales. And for me personally, it's like the name of the goddess Artemis. It is very centered in itself. Like it is not too much to the extremes of a too happy scale and too lighthearted, and not too much on the dark side of melancholy and a darker atmosphere. So the D minor is a very centered scale personally for me, and I could suggest it to almost anyone. It's a perfect starter scale, and a benefit also of this scale will be that if you want to buy a handpan or purchase a handpan, and you plan to maybe play together with other handpan players in future, or to make music together with other people, then the D minor scale, the Artemis or the aeolian minor, will be a very good scale, because it's highly likely that you will find another handpan player that has a D minor scale, and it fits very well with a lot of handpan scales. You can play it together with the Pygmy, you can play it together with the Celtic, you can play it together with the Kurd. You have to pay attention to the E4 if you play together with the Kurd, for example. But you can do it. Like, this instrument will fit to, the scale will fit to a lot of different handpan scales. With the integrated E4, it's also, for me personally, more versatile and more, it has more, how to say, it has more musical words or notes for expression, so it should not get boring too soon. Like, for example, there is the danger that on pentatonic scales or on hexatonic scales, where they leave out one scale, there's the danger or the possibility that the scale might feel quite boring after some time, because you are just able to play always in one mode, which can be nice but can be boring after some time. So yeah, again the question, sorry, talk too much. Whom is the scale for? Well, basically it's a perfect beginner scale. It's a scale for people who are not so sure which handpan scale should I pick, and it's also perfect for people who want to play with others, together with other people. The downside maybe is that it is a very known scale, so the combinations and the sounds for us Europeans are mostly very we know them, like it feels like home a little bit. So if you're looking for something new or maybe something more exotic, you might pick another handpan scale. The same is true if you search for a handpan scale that has a very strong character or a very strong expression, for example, like one of my other scales, the Lilith or the Hecate, or a couple of other handpan scales, which are have a very strong character, and you will notice this. So yes, I hope I could deliver some information, and if you like the video, I'll be glad if you might check out the other ones that will follow for the series. I will try to cover all of my lunar handpan scales in this manner, and yes, so far so good. I wish you a nice time. Stay tuned.